and welcome back to the Lucid Dreaming Podcast. This is episode 18, and this is another quick smorgasbord episode with a bunch of little stuff. So let's jump right into it, give you all the updates and little tidbits I wanted to talk about. There's some cool little stuff. First of all, there is a cool video about, it's an MIT Labs sort of in one of their interview sessions with B. Alan Wallace, who is a meditation teacher and I think to some degree researcher, and they talk about a lot of things including lucid dreaming, and it's a very unique and interesting discussion plus a few questions from audience. So I'll put a link in the show notes. Check it out. It's very interesting. I think you might enjoy it. Speaking of research, there is a cool, I tweeted about this a few weeks back already, but I didn't have a chance to mention it on the podcast, and I know it's kind of a late notice at this point, so it might not be relevant, but I wanted to mention it just in case. If any of you are in the St. Louis area, there is a guy who is doing research about lucid dreaming. He's got a study, some funding from UMSL, and his name is Remy, coincidentally, not like the like the mask, but still I thought it was funny. In any case, I think the study requires just that you complete a task that has to do with memory and lucid dreaming and then report back. So all you have to do is go to stll.com, and you can find more information there and contact him there. And I think the final date to complete the task is either the November 21st or the 24th. I think it's Friday the 24th. So hopefully maybe some of you can still participate if you want and have enough time for it. Again, sorry for the late notice, but go give it a try. It's very cool. And even if you missed this and any of you are in the St. Louis area, there is a sort of local meetup for lucid dreaming, which I think is awesome. And I'm sure there are many more of these out there somewhere. It's good to go on meetup.com and search in case you can find those in your area. But check it out. Check out the website and see if this is close to you. That might be something fun to participate in. And I'll put a link in the show notes if you listen while you're driving, and you can write down the name of the website. Okay, and the thing that I wanted to really talk about in this little episode is a very, very cool and fascinating blog post by the guy who created an app called Awoken. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the previous episode. I don't think so, but there is an Android app called Awoken, which is basically a lucid dreaming app with all sorts of functions and reminders and reality check notifications and so on in a dream journal. And what this guy did, Andreas Rudolph, basically a year and a half after creating the app or releasing the app, for those who agreed to participate and share their data anonymously, I think over 2,000 people, he basically collected information, and the results, the data that came out of it is absolutely amazing and absolutely fascinating and very encouraging about, he especially was trying to look at, how long does it take to start lucid dreaming? And basically, I wanted to share some of the information from his research. And again, as always, I'm linking to it in the show notes, so take a look over there as well. His website is of electric sheep with dashes, of-electric-sheep.blogpost.com. And the title of the article is The Art of Lucid Dreaming, a first look inside the cloud from the most popular lucid dreaming app on Android, which is very cool. I don't have an Android device, so I unfortunately didn't get to use it, but it looks really good. So I'll put a link to the app as well as the article. But the bottom line is the first little interesting thing is that I think the number of men versus women who participated in the sharing of their statistics is, I think, 3 or 4 to 1 men versus women. So more men than women. I don't know if it means that more men are using the app or more men are likely to participate in the study, but it's a very interesting little point. I wonder what are the statistics about men and women practicing lucid dreaming. I would love to know that. There's a bunch of surveys, a couple of surveys going on that were going on Reddit, on the lucid dreaming subreddit, and I'm hoping that we'll get some of the information, some of the results from that as well. But back to this cool little study. The bottom line of it was this, and here's how it was kind of summed up in conclusion. The data shows that if you make a journal entry 4 times a week or more, it only takes an average of 11.7 days to learn lucid dreaming, to reach your first lucid dream. The complete average time it takes to learn lucid dreaming from the first dream entry to the first one with lucidity is 31.53 days. So here's basically the crucial point of this study, and here's the statistics that came out of it, and how he measured it. What he wanted to do is see how long it takes to learn lucid dream, or to achieve your first lucid dream, basically, to successfully become lucid since you're starting a dream journal or starting your practice. And what he did was he's measuring the average days from the first dream entry until the first dream entry you mark as lucid, because in the app you can mark this dream as was a lucid dream. Whenever you make an entry into your journal, you have the option of marking whether or not you experience lucidity. So by pinpointing the number of days between people's first entry and the entry they first became lucid, we can very effectively measure how long it takes to learn. There's a line showing that the more entries you make per week, the quicker the awareness of your dream state can be developed. The data even shows, and here's the kicker, that if you make journal entries 4 times a week or more, it only takes an average of 11.7 days to learn. 11.7 days to learn on average. The complete average time it takes to learn lucid dreaming from the first dream entry to the first one with lucidity is 31.53 days. That's amazing. Out of all the people, well, if you take a sample of all the people who participated in writing a dream journal, on average, within 30 days of a minimum of 1 entry per week, have reached within 30 days their first lucid dream. This is amazing. He did, I think, subtracted 430 people who have indicated that they've studied lucid dreaming per se before starting their dream journal. So he wanted a cleaner sample, so it's a little less than 2,000, but it's still remarkable. Considering normal app retention rates across the Play Store, this still means that an impressive 25.5% of people who just made a single entry in their journal followed through and achieved a new state of mind they were seeking. On top of that, 37.3% of them had never even tried lucid dreaming before. That's to me, that's absolutely remarkable. Imagine that 4 times a week or more, on average, it takes 11 days before your first lucid dream. Again, this is general statistics of a somewhat relatively small sample, but still significant sample, if you ask me. And again, hopefully as sample will grow and more people will participate in volunteering their data using the app. And I think the app is gaining more traction. But it's still amazing. And I think it reinforces something that I said on the very first episode of this podcast, is that I truly believe that a dream journal is the most powerful tool to achieve lucid dreaming. It is one of the best practices to raise dream awareness, which is not only a prerequisite, but just the continuum on which lucidity finally arrives. And I think this definitely shows that that's the case. I think consistently writing your dream journal on its own, as I've said before, if you only choose one practice to do, if you're overwhelmed by all the techniques and stuff and you can't wake yourself up at 5 in the morning and so on and so forth, if you're just doing one thing, let it be dream journal. So kudos to Andreas, and check out the app Awoken. I think it's fantastic what he's done, and I hope to see some more of this data in other data that might come. I know there's a lot of dream journal apps. I've talked before about Dreamboard, who I'm a big fan of, who I know are collecting data anonymously and hopefully researching and learning from their data as well. And they've added in the latest update to the app the option to mark a dream as a normal dream, a recurring dream, a nightmare, and a lucid dream. So we're learning more about people's dream and people's habits, and people who write a dream journal. This is all data that can accumulate and we can learn more of. I know also there was a project on Kickstarter for an app called Shadow, which I've started to test a little bit. It's a strange app, and I haven't kind of figured out exactly what the whole mechanism of the sharing aspect of that app. But I know that the creator is big on data and analyzing data and learning more from people's participation in dream journaling. So it's all fascinating, and again, this is a great example of just people creating apps and learning from them, and we're learning as well. So if you ever needed a reminder why it's a good idea to write a dream journal, and if you're still struggling but you haven't done it consistently, please give it a try. Write more consistently, and on some regular basis, even once a week. But I think dedicating 5 minutes in the morning to writing your dreams is plenty, and it's powerful. And if you have more time and you can write more, by all means, go for it. So, short episode, but I wanted to put something out there, and I wanted to mention the study in St. Louis before it's completely done and it's too late to mention it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick episode. You can always find me on Twitter at TheLucidSage. You can find me on my website at lucidsage.com. And I'm going to start uploading these podcast episodes to YouTube as well, because apparently people want to listen, use YouTube as a listening platform for podcasts, it seems. So if it's more convenient for you to listen on YouTube, expect these episodes to show up there soon. I need to upload the backlog first. So hope you enjoyed this, and hope to talk to you soon.